Yes, on a Wednesday. Finally. Headbangers and Hooligans, your favorite show? At least, I hope so. As always, yours truly, Scummalicious. I am feeling really good about doing this podcast today because, not just because of the subject, talking about 1994, but this is one of those days where I'm going to vent a little bit as I do this show because I need it. You know, it's just one of them fucking days where you wake up and you're just in one of them moods. Every little fucking thing sets you off. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you had one of those days? Do you get them a lot? I don't get them a lot, but when I do, they are a bitch. And it's not just one thing or one person. It's just everything. You're fucking annoyed, at life. And maybe it's you just see something on TV that sets you off, that could happen every time you turn the TV on with all the dopes they got on TV now. But, yeah. So, basically I'm saying it's like a therapy session for me. There you go. And speaking of that, 1994, what an amazing fucking year for the two genres that this show is dedicated to, punk and heavy metal. And I'm telling you, I knew 1994 was a big year for punk. I've talked about that. That's how I kind of got sucked into punk rock. But I didn't know how many great albums came out on the metal side as well. And in a way, because I do Overrated and Underrated and Battle of the Bands or Battle of the Singers, whatever, I could actually use both of them talking about this. Punk versus metal and Overrated and Underrated. And maybe we'll do that. We'll see. But I'm going to start with 1994, the metal albums. And what I did is I came up with my 10 favorite albums from that year. Alright, I'll go down the list, and then you can kind of get your own idea to see if you like the albums as much as I do, and then I'll go down through the list of the punk albums, and we'll compare them. We'll do both. Punk vs. metal, overrated and underrated. Let's do it. The Bleeding, Cannibal Corpse. New album just came out, did the review on Friday. The Bleeding was the last album that Chris Barnes sang on. So that in itself is a pretty important album. And it has one of the greatest songs ever written. It really does. To me, Fucked with a Knife. Just that title alone is fucking amazing. I kind of like Stripped, Raped, and Strangled too. And I'm not going to dive into the whole Cannibal Corpse thing. And even if you're not a death metal fan, that is a big time album in their discography. Even hardcore fans that everywhere I've seen or read, there's always good thoughts and comments on that album. Number 2, Soundgarden, Super Unknown. Now listen, I'm sick of this fucking album. I am. I've heard Black Hole Sun so many fucking times that it honestly makes me want to fucking throw up. But Super Unknown, when you listen to it and forget about the songs that we heard at nauseum, like I said, Black Hole Sun and Spoon Man, at least here in Iowa. Laser 103.3. The rock station that really fucking rocks. Not. Just my opinion. But, My Wave was a pretty good song. And Fell on Black Days. Maybe that got played out a little bit too. The Day I Tried to Live, Flesh Tendrils. it is a really good album. And there's a reason why Black Hole Sun got played to death. It's because it's a good song. And I do like the video. You know, it's just, they ran it in the fucking ground. But you cannot deny the importance of that album. Album number 3. And these, now, you can go look, and they've got all kinds of websites. Their top 20 metal albums of 1994. And there's 25 different lists. These are the 10 albums I came up with. Alright, so, you know, maybe there's a lot of people who disagree with the 10 I've got on here, but that's who I picked. Prong, The Cleansing. And I forgot this album came out in 1994. Why? I'm asking myself why, because I fucking love Prong. I know it's not a band that I've talked a ton about, but if you've never heard the song Snap Your Finger, Snap Your Neck, then just go jump off a fucking bridge, asshole. I'm kidding. But Tommy Victor, so underrated when it comes to as a guitarist. You know, I like his singing. Prong is a great fucking band. I also like the song Whose Fist Is This Anyway, Out of This Misery. But The Cleansing is a very good album. Alright, number 4. Far Beyond Driven, Pantera. Yep, it came out in 1994. Now remember, I did on Monday, I did the best sophomore albums. And I had a friend say, what, Far Beyond Driven? You gotta remember, Pantera released like 3 albums before Cowboys from Hell. And remember, they were a fucking glam band. Yeah. So, that kind of shut that shit out the window. Anyway, Far Beyond Driven, you know, this is one of those albums over time that I think the one thing about this album, the follow-up to Vulgar Display of Power, I don't care how much time or effort they were going to put into that album, it's not going to be as good as Vulgar Display of Power. It's one of the greatest albums ever. And obviously you know that because I reviewed it's in my top 50 all time. What is it, number 10? Maybe? Right? Fuck. You'd think I would know something like that. Anyway. Great album. But over time, when you listen to Far Beyond Driven, it stacks up pretty well. And especially the lead track, Strength Beyond Strength. I love that song. Yeah, I stopped myself from saying fuck. Really? But especially, fuck you and your college dream. Da-na-na-na. I'm stronger than all. Ba-na-na-na. Oh. And you know, I really appreciate that song now more than I ever did when it first came out. I mean, that's how you start a fucking album. Strength Beyond Strength. Well, if you're a Pantera. 5 Minutes Alone. Good Friends and a Bottle of Piss. Pills, not bottle of piss. Fuck. Penelope, where you at? Go get me some beer or something. I gotta get my game right here. I'm way off. And then I like the song Becoming too. I like the guitar riff on there. Album 5. Now, this is one of those bands I found out that you either like them or you hate them. I mean, that's the impression that I get. Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. That was really fucking stupid. Anyway, Biohazard. I like State of the World Address. In fact, I like it better than Urban Discipline. I do. That's just my opinion. You know, What Makes Us Tick. 5 blocks to the subway. Just 5 blocks away. And then on the end, every day. Every motherfucking day. And then, of course, the title track. It's the State of the World Address, motherfuckers. Dun, 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 dun. And then, of course, Billy Grazziti, right? He's missing the tooth in the Punishment video. Is it Evan Seinfeld, the bass player? Did he start like doing pornos or some shit? Right? that guy, and for some reason, I don't know why, but it kind of, I don't know why it shouldn't, but I was like, okay, you're in a band, Biohazard, and now you're gonna do fucking pornos. There's nothing wrong with that. Fuck, more power to you, right? You know, you're not afraid to whip your dick out in front of a camera and fuck women. Good for you, but like, I don't know. Why is a guy in Biohazard? Shouldn't that be like a guy in Poison, right? Or some other fucking glam band? Who knows? In the end, it doesn't fucking matter. I love that album. I think it's a great album. 5 blocks to the subway, just 5 blocks away. Number 6, we got an appearance from Helmet. Betty. Remember that album? And I've talked about this before. Seen them live. They opened up for Faith No More. They weren't bad, but you know, they just weren't memorable. I remember leaving the concert and thinking a lot of those songs sounded the same. They just did, but Helmet's another one of those bands that I appreciate now more than I did when they were somewhat popular. It just goes to show you how really shitty the fucking music industry is right now. Because I can go back 23 years and find something I would rather listen to today than listen to fucking Goldfinger. Nice try, John Feldman. Boy, I gotta get off that, don't I? It's just constantly hating on the same thing over and over. Yeah, alright. I'll remember that. Wilma's Rainbow, and I love this song title, Biscuits for Smut. Good song title. Album 7, I picked this, and I know it's not, especially when it comes to the hardcore Slayer fans, I did put Slayer Divine Intervention on here. It's an important album for one thing. It's the first album that Paul Bostoff drums on. And I like the opening track, Killing Fields. And, you know, when you read up on this album and you see all the reviews, a lot of it has to do the production. They don't like the production of it. And it just kind of sounds thin, like there ain't a lot of meat there, right? Like when you listen to Slayer, it should be just like a wall of sound blasting your fucking ears off. And honestly, you don't get that from this album. But it's still, listen, it's Slayer. And you know, a lot of people argue, well, they've recorded the same album for 30 years. Some people make that argument. But for me, I think it's an okay album. And trust me, we've heard a lot fucking worse in the world than Divine Intervention. So, I got it on here. Now, this next one is a no-doubter. Yeah, this one is Gwen Stefani, no doubt. That was so fucking lame. You know what? Fuck you, Penelope. I'm trying, okay? Suicidal Tendencies, Suicidal for Life, without a doubt, and I know the Bucks still agree with me on this, their most underrated album that they've ever recorded. Without a doubt. I mean, it starts off with Don't Give a Fuck, No Fucking Problem, Suicidal Motherfucker, dun, 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 dun. Suicidal Motherfucker, don't take no shit from no one. Hell yeah, Mike Muir, sing that shit, brother. It's a great album. I gave Buckster the cassette. That whole first side, and I've talked about this before, is one of the greatest first sides of any cassette ever recorded. There you go. I always use the of all time or ever recorded. Well, there's another one. Number 9, Dog Eat Dog. Granted, maybe you could kind of consider it more of a punk album. You know what? It's heavy because Danny Nastasi's the guitarist. She has the same guitarist for Monkey Pup. All Boro Kings, Dog Eat Dog, like, yes. You want to talk about an album that blasts out the fucking speakers. You know, think. Clack, clack, pop, pop. How many have to die before it stops? I'm talking about Pull My Finger, In the Doghouse, Funnel King. Just, the guitar riffs on here are fucking heavy. It's a great album. And I can't believe looking at that now, that's 23 years old. Holy fucking shit, am I getting old. And then the last album that I put on here, and trust me, I am not a black metal fan at all. Venom is probably about the only black metal band that I really get into, and then a lot of big time black metal fans, they think they're a joke. So that, I guess that pretty much sums up my fandom. But it's Mayhem, and I'm going to destroy the title of this album. De Mysterios Dom Satanas. Satanas? I know I just fucking destroyed that, but technically it was recorded in 1991. Most of the music, Dead, is the guy, and you've seen that, the picture of the guy that committed suicide, and they put it on the on one of the album covers, and then the other guy in the band took the picture of it, and also they're the band where the bass player, and he plays on this album, killed the guitarist. He murdered him, and he went on trial for it. It's fucked up. But their debut album with, and I'm calling him Dead because I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, the guy that committed suicide, he wrote all the lyrics to these songs. The guy Attila was the vocalist, and I think they have a mix or an album where Dead is the vocalist on there, like his vocals are on there. But I'm going with the initial release with Attila singing all the songs that Dead wrote. There you go. And listen, say what you want, that's a fucked up, crazy fucking band. The history of them, and it's a legendary album, and it belongs on here whether you're a fan or not. And those are some 10 pretty big time heavy hitting albums for metal. At least that's what I think. So now it's about you hooligans. That's right, you with your mohawks, you with the little chain wallet, you with the wearing the shorts, the baggy shorts, like rappers, only you're a punk rocker. Am I getting kind of stupid? A little bit? Yeah, I agree. Oh, thank God for pause. And it's also a good thing for you, the listener, that I discovered the pause button. Yeah, it only took me a year and a half to figure it out. Then you don't have to hear me drink and then yell at Penelope even more than I do when I'm talking. It's just, you guys don't understand what I put up with when I'm trying to do these shows. And she'll either be like giving me weird looks, or she'll take her shirt off and then take her bra off, put that shit back on. See, and it gets distracting. All right. Jawbreaker, 24-Hour Revenge. And I talked about Jawbreaker not too long ago. 24-Hour Revenge Therapy, sorry. That's the entire title. That's another album. What the fuck? Where did this time go? 1994, I was in Davenport. We were in the sanitarium. We were partying. We were not working. We didn't pretty much give a fuck about anything. It literally was sex and partying. I am not kidding. I'm not trying to brag about that. I'm just saying that's all. Nobody worked. How in the fuck did we get an apartment and keep it? Maybe because we were on the rough side of town and no other crazy motherfuckers like us would live there. That might have something to do with it. Alright. 24-Hour Revenge Therapy. It had Boxcar on it, Ashtray Monument, and it has one of my favorite songs from Jawbreaker. Do you still hate me? And Blake sings a little bit better than I do, but yeah, it's a good tune. Alright. They're on here. They belong on here. And I don't love them, but I give them credit where credit is due. No Effects, Punk and Drublick, Linoleum, Leave It Alone, Punk Guy, The Bruise. It is. It's a great album. I'm not going to lie. I still listen to it. And on that note, real quick, Fat Mike wrote a little thing on Facebook. What the fuck is everybody talking shit for? Listen, I didn't know what was going on. I booked 6 comedians, and I didn't know what happened with Guttermouth. Well, see, and here's my only problem. Okay, fine, I understand. It's not entirely your fault, Fat Mike. But you're wondering why people are pissed because they bought tickets to see fucking Guttermouth. That's why fucking people are mad. Everybody's talking shit. Well, the show is in Huntington Beach, California. Oh, who's from Huntington Beach? Yeah, fucking Guttermouth. That's the reason that some of the people bought tickets. So it makes sense that some people be upset. Just wanted to explain that for him because he sounded confused. Album 3. The Offspring. Smash. Another album. I don't love it like a lot of people do. No doubt about it, though. It belongs on here. It's another album that brought a lot of those guys that they didn't know. Oh, hey, did you get the new Offspring album? Oh, yeah. I did. Oh, wow, you look different. Oh, I'm punk rock now. I got the new Offspring. This album is smash. Oh, you're a punk rocker? Yeah. Well, weren't you just metal? No, I was glam metal. Oh. And weren't you a headbanger before that? Yeah, I was into thrash metal. Then I went to glam metal, and then I found the Offspring, and now I'm a punk rocker. Out of my way. Fuck the government. I know. I'm just having fun, guys. I told you, it's my therapy. Remember? But I do like the song Bad Habit. Isn't that the one where he says, shit, goddamn, dumbass motherfucker? Does he say dumbass in there? He probably doesn't, does he? I don't know. Self-esteem. I'm just a sucker with no self-esteem. Oh, way, yeah, way. Okay, I do gotta talk about something. That really is one of the most lazy, lame fucking choruses ever. And that song was so fucking popular. And I remember, and the first time I heard it, I kind of laughed. It's funny. Oh, she's drunk and takes advantage of him or whatever. And you're like, okay, I ain't got no self-esteem. And it's kind of funny. But then when you listen to that chorus, just like, way, yeah, yeah, oh, way, yeah, hey, yeah. That's just the best you could do for that chorus, huh? And I know there's more to it than that. I'm just being silly. Listen, fuck it. They recorded an album that will go down in history, right? Nobody heard of fucking Epitaph Records before this album. So, I can make fun of them all I want. They can look at me and say, well, Scum Malicious, why don't you write a fucking album like that? Well, I didn't. And I guess that's why I'm sitting here talking into a microphone about you. You win. Alright. Album 4, Rancid. Let's go. You know how much I love Rancid. You know how much I love this album. Nihilism. Radio, 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 radio. When I got the music, why I got a place to go. It's a good album. Good song. Salvation, of course, 7 Years Down. The human spirit prevails. Oh yeah, I'm down, down, down. Doing my best Tim Armstrong impersonation. I do what I can, okay? I do. Album 5, my punk list for 1994, Bad Religion, Stranger Than Fiction. I really like this album. It is my favorite Bad Religion album. I saw a couple comments, oh, Bad Religion sold out. Did they really, though? I know they went to the major record label, but I don't know. Really? Bad Religion's sold out? They're still playing the same fucking music. I mean, they didn't change anything really. Yeah, they had a couple videos that played on MTV. I like a lot of the songs on. I love the title track, Television, the one that Tim Armstrong sings on is pretty good. Better Off Dead, Hooray for Me. Good tunes. This is an album, believe it or not, and I thought about this yesterday when I did my top 10 punk album debuts, and I actually feel pretty bad about this, because this album should have been on there. The Bouncing Souls, The Good, The Bad, The Argyle. How do I leave such a fucking legendary album off that list? Well, they didn't get let off today. I Like Your Mom, one of the greatest songs ever written. The Gash, Joe Lies, Some Kind of Wonderful, like the movie. And it also, that's the album that has a song, these are the quotes from my favorite 80s movies. That's pretty cool. It's a great album, though. Album 7 is Trashed, Lagwagon. It's their second album. Rust, Going South, Know It All. Know It All, I think personally, one of my favorites. Probably in their top 5 songs for me. And it's Lagwagon. And you know it's going to be on here. Album 8, Dookie, Green Day, Just Like the Offspring. You can love it or hate it. Dookie is a great album. I still listen to it. And Basket Case. I've said it 1,000 times. That song is still fun to play on guitar. And it's other songs on there that are pretty good. Not just the fucking Long View and the Basket Case and When I Come Around that we've heard ad nauseum. Burnout, Chump. I like Fuck Off and Die, the last song. Stuck in a rut of dislogic and smut, a side of you well hid. You know, when Billy Joe tries to sound like he's British, which is kind of funny to me, but it doesn't annoy me like it does other people. It doesn't. I've got a really good one here from a band that I really don't talk about very much, but it's Down by Law, and it's a great fucking album called Punk Rock Academy Fight Song. That's another one of those special albums that I have the cassette and the CD. Flower Tattoo, they do 500 Miles. Yeah, they do a cover of that song. Because I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more. And then down by Law's version, surrender, you know, it kind of revs it up. And if I haver, whatever the fuck that means, I'll behave around to you, because I would walk, you know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, great album. The King and I, Haircut. Seattle sound is everywhere. Yo, fuck that shit, go cut your fucking hair. Yeah, it's a great album. Really, really underrated. And I'm glad it came out in 1994 so I could talk about it. And then the last album, how do you wrap up a list, a punk list? Punk albums, Guttermouth, Friendly People. Fuck yeah. You know, Jamie's Petting Zoo, bullshit, bullshit, full of shit. PC, get your dog's ass out of that other dog's nose. It pissed me off so much that I dyed my hair blue, got a nose ring, and I moved to San Francisco. Of course, you got Asshole. And you're a fucking asshole. Fucking asshole. And I'm a goddamn asshole. Sorry. I haven't talked about my stepdad, Mark Atkins, in a week or two. So there you go. Now, and I said we could do both for the purposes of talking about metal and punk. Which list do you think? Alright, metal versus punk. You know, when you think about it, because at first, when I was coming up the list of these albums, I'm strictly thinking punk rock. Especially when you're talking about Green Day, The Offspring, huge fucking albums, but no effects, Jawbreaker, Rancid, Bad Religion, pretty strong, right? But metal kind of comes in with a fucking giant left hook. Kind of a surprise left hook that you weren't expecting. Soundgarden, Pantera, Biohazard, Suicidal Tendencies, Helmet, but and it is a pretty solid list, but I think the punk list, in the purposes of metal versus punk, I think punk wins that one. Now, as far as underrated and overrated, I don't think 1994 is overrated for punk. That was just a very unbelievable year, and all those albums that I talked about, there's a reason why everybody was buying these albums and listening to them. But I gotta admit, metal, 1994, it was underrated. I forgot about a lot of these albums, not totally forgetting about them, but forgetting the year that they were released. Soundgarden, big time album. Pantera, Far Beyond Driven, like I said, especially over time, that album is a big time album. It's just followed up one of the greatest albums ever recorded, Vulgar Display of Power. Hard to top that album, but that's still a very good album. The Bleeding from Cannibal Corpse. A lot of hardcore Cannibal Corpse fans will tell you it's their favorite. Helmet, Slayer. And Suicidal Tendencies. I'm telling you, if you get a chance, after you get done listening to this, go to YouTube and listen to Suicidal for Life. So underrated. And for the purposes of underrated and overrated, it's underrated. And the punk, it's not overrated or underrated. It was just a great year, and it should have been, because those were great albums. So we killed two birds with one stone there. How about that? That's a good thing. And got my therapy session over with, and I feel better because of it. Now, I'm going to go, as soon as I get done here, I'm going to take a couple steps over to the bed, and I'm going to get Penelope in a fucking headlock. Alright, you know how I do this. Take it easy, and if it's easy, take it twice. I'm out.